Welcome to Dear Alice, a lifestyle approach to interior design.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dear Alice. We have a fun guest with us here today. We are so lucky to be joined by Rachel Folkman, who is a holiday and interior designer. Rachel Folkman, welcome to Dear Alice.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I feel like we should have like sleigh bells like ringing,
Right?
to introduce
Christmas.
Yes.
We heard about Rachel from a part of our marketing team who's worked for other influencers, and she said, you guys need to have Rachel Folkman on because she does the best of the best holiday decor seasonal for all of the big, amazing homes that we have in our area. And we're like, what? How have we not heard about Rachel Folkman? She's like, let me see if we can get her on. So you guys are in for a treat. Rachel's going to help us unpack how to best decorate a holiday tree, mantles, the rhyme or reason behind it, the best storage solutions. I'm excited to learn from her. I don't have a great way of doing all the things.
Yeah, I'm excited to learn how you buy too, because I know you go take your new clients on full buying trips before you do a new tree. So I'm excited to hear what that equation looks like, because there's a formula. There's an absolute formula to it. So we're so excited to have you.
Yes. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here.
Rachel, you are located also in Utah. And are all the trees you do in Utah, or do you do out of state as well?
We keep to just Utah because we're so busy all season long that it's just a lot easier to just kind of stay in Utah. We try to keep Utah Valley, but we have been extending all the way to Fruit Heights lately.
Okay. And to give an idea for our listeners, the sheer scale of the amount of holiday decor you're doing in the short amount of time, tell them when you get started and how many homes you're doing.
So normally we try to start November 1st. That's our goal. And then we go till about December 6th or 8th, wherever that first week lands. Mm-hmm. But this year I had a client reach out to me who I haven't done in a couple of years. And she's like, I need you back. I have to have you. And so we kind of crammed her into October 30th.
Wow.
So we're starting a little earlier this year.
Yeah. So, and how many homes are you doing?
We're doing 16 homes this year.
16 homes in 1 month, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe 5 weeks is what you're doing.
I know. And what
Wow.
I'm fascinated to learn from you too is in each home, is it 2 trees, a mantle, chandelier? How complicated are we getting? And I'm sure it varies, but
She's
what
smiling.
extent are you going to that? Are we a 12 foots, a 12 foot, a 10 foot, 8 foot for the kids? What do you do?
It all depends on the client, depends on the home and the scale of the home.
Okay.
If they can fit those gorgeous 12-foot 12-foot trees in those beautiful homes with the huge windows, we love to do a 12-foot tree. It's just fun. A little exhausting on the ladder, but it's worth it every time.
Yeah.
And then a lot of clients will do a little bit of a scaled down tree for the family, something that's a little more on the traditional line. So we'll do a 10 or 9-foot tree, kind of a little more simple. Mantles, some clients have 3 mantles that we're doing. Some have 2. Some just want one huge statement mantle, which is fun. Railings are another thing. We do the banisters and railings.
Yes.
Those take as long as a tree sometimes.
Yes, they do.
Those are exhausting, but so fun. And then sometimes we bleed into the outdoors too. Plus, we like to add a little bit of decor throughout the home that complements the Christmas color schemes. So kind of a full install in a way.
So with the amount of homes you have to do, you can't spend any more than 3 days.
We spend 1 day per home.
Stop it. How big is your team?
So we either come with 2 designers and 2 assistants, or we'll just have the 2 designers. It just depends on the scale of the home. And if we've done it before, when it's a brand new client, we like to bring a team of 4 to really figure it out. There's so much work to do in prep alone that it just adds 3 or 4 more hours to your day.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Massive
crazy.
Diet Coke and a bottle of Advil.
100%.
Okay,
That
girl.
is how I live.
Before we get too far into it, do you have socials? What are your
Yes.
handles?
Mostly I do Instagram, and it's Rachel Folkman Designs.
Cool.
Spell Folkman for the people.
It's Folkman. Folkman.
Awesome.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes, you can check that out. Okay, so let's just start at the beginning. So
from the top.
So I call you and I say, Rachel, hi, I'm a new client. I would love to get started. How do you start with the new client on their home? Do you ask them what size tree do you have? Do they say, I need a tree. What do you recommend? What do you recommend on a tree? Are you a flocked person? Are you a fresh person? Are you Yeah. Do you have a say in what the tree is, or do they generally have a tree?
Clients are really good. They really kind of let us, they trust our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of put the whole plan together with them. We do discuss, I love to get to have pictures of their homes, specifically if I haven't been in their home. Some of the clients this year that we're doing are homes that we actually designed, so we're really excited about that. But I have some new fun ones that are actually Allison clients that I'm so excited to get into. And so we met with that client and we kind of discussed like what her wants are, what her needs are. Are they okay with having a flock tree? Because flock trees are messy, but stunning. And visually, they photograph gorgeous. So we love a flock tree. Green trees are coming back really strong. People are loving those green trees. They like not having the mess. They love having all those stunning greens that are kind of out. There's a lot of great faux greens, so you can have that realistic look without having the mess or dealing with it. So we love using that product. And some people have a hard time mixing flocked with greenery that's not flocked, but they don't want other. So when people have a hard time with that, we'll just kind of keep to the greens.
Yeah, your favorite kind of greens. I do want to know this. Are you like a full bushier tree that has like long needles, or are you more of a sparse, like slender branch, so it's easier to like hook ornaments and like kind of manipulate and then kind of build from there with picks and things? Like what does the body of that green tree look like in your ideal world?
Ideal. I love a tree with some spacing because I love ornaments and I love popping the colors and seeing all the beautiful textures and the elegance. So I want that to show. I hate those trees that are just bushes. I struggle with them so much, and clients will be, they'll go rogue on me and buy one of those trees, and I'm like, oh, this is hard.
All the ornaments like stick out like that.
They're
like,
just, they look like they're just sitting there and there's no beauty to it. And I love a natural looking tree. So, Balsam Hill has been our go-to. It's an investment, but we love it. They have stunning faux trees that are beautiful. Rachel Parcells is from Balsam Hill and it's gorgeous. And one of the things that Rachel discovered is she discovered a really gorgeous, it's called like a Yukon flocked slim. And so those 12-foot trees, they can come out so wide into the room. And so people will buy these 12-foot trees and they can't fit it with their furniture. It's just too tight.
Yeah.
So when you go towards a 12-foot slim, it's much easier. You don't have to remove as much furniture. Sometimes you have to remove a chair, but
but the footprint's more manageable.
Smart.
Yeah. Pro
really,
tip.
really
Is
smart.
Balsam Hill something that they can purchase? Is that business to consumer? Anybody can go online?
I think so. I'm like
Great.
seeing the
Online.
catalog come through
Great.
the mail. So
That's great. So that's Rachel Folkman's favorite tree, y'all.
okay. Good.
Yeah, very good.
12-footer.
Okay, so you find out what kind of tree they have, or if you're lucky, they're going to say, will you help me find the perfect tree? And then you can go to your go-to tree. How do you start to decide on the decor that's going on the tree? You go in, you see the home, and then where do you go from there?
a lot of times we talk to them. Traditional means so much to most people that a lot of people have a hard time stepping away from a traditional tree.
Mm-hmm.
So we discuss, we kind of look through the home and see where we can put a traditional tree and what kind of tones we can do. Sometimes you just can't do that bright red and that green in the home. It's just going to clash so badly. And the designer and me just can't do it. So we talk them into like a deeper wine red and a deeper forest green and pulling in more metallics and doing silvers and golds and just really playing up more deep velvets, mohair pillows that pull in the theme, like just doing a richness to that traditional theme that's not typically the whimsy, playful, traditional, just a little more classic. And I think that is just a timeless investment. So most clients do want a traditional tree somewhere. Some don't, but 90% do. So we work with that. And then we go through, typically it's a living room that we go a little more elegant, a little more glam. We make it more luxurious. And so we'll go with silvers and golds. And I love to look through their room and try to pull tones from the room, from the design of the room. And so
Love that.
if they have like a pillow that's in a brassy velvet or an ochre, I've even pulled those tones in. We've toned lots of blues. One of our clients last year that was so fun was a home designed by Allison, and there was this gorgeous rug. And the rug was really colorful, and it had corals and navy blues and light blues and orange and pink. And it was kind of this theme throughout her room. And so I looked at it and I said, oh my gosh, let's make this your Christmas. So we did all greens, like beautiful faux railing greens that were just stunning, and they draped. And we did an incredible statement mantle, gorgeous green tree. And then we just did lots of neutral tones, so like golds and silvers and metals, but popped in those tones. And we did them in the ribbon. And it was just so playful and so unique. And it was like one of my favorite Christmases I've ever done.
I love that.
Yeah. The
Okay.
rug, we always say it. Start with the rug.
The rug really pulled the room together.
Yeah, it did.
Yes.
Oh,
That's great.
I have a question. Okay, so you have your tree. Like, I know we want to keep it kind of slender because we're going to like really like showcase the ornaments. Now you're going to go shopping for the ornaments. What does that look like scale wise? Like, are we doing like big ones? Are they set in deep? Like, what does the ornament buying situation look like once you have kind of a theme? You know the rug, you know what the room's going to look like. How do you do that? And then I want to know how you fasten your ornaments. Are we wiring?
Oh, we're 100%
What are we
wiring.
doing? Are we taking all the weird things off and taking it from like the base root and just doing a little?
You have to. I feel like
Some
if
of the
you're
green
gonna,
wire. Are your fingers bleeding? by the end of
Susan's
the
a wirer also.
season? I'm a wirer.
you
Uh-huh.
are.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love a
I
hook
love
and I
it.
love a wire. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So go.
So I love it because to me, I just feel like invest in those gorgeous ornaments, and then you can feel safe about it if you wire it on. If you don't wire it on,
Wire.
It's Russian
it just
roulette.
stresses me.
Yeah.
And sometimes when like the tops are popping off, we even have hot glue guns in our kit,
Yeah.
and we'll just put a little glue dot and just kind of keep it down.
Pro tip.
Right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's
Yeah.
an awesome little trick that we've discovered.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to stress about that ornament popping off. Or, if you have a kitty,
I'm
to
like,
keep
I have
smacking the
all
ornaments.
boys.
Yeah.
I need hot glue.
Right?
I didn't
Yeah,
even
just hot glue.
know.
Hot glue and wire.
Put on a good Christmas movie and just start hot gluing your ornaments.
Make it
Just a
chore
little
for
dot.
the children.
Exactly.
Great.
Wire them all up and get them ready to go.
That's fantastic.
I love that. Back in the day, we did a lot of big ornaments. We did those huge ornaments that we put on the base. We're just not seeing a lot of those anymore. It's kind of more, I think it's going back to traditional ones that we're used to, not that super whimsy, over the top, just classic.
Susical.
We're
Yeah.
not, like, wiring
Totally
toy cars on
theatrical.
it.
Right.
anymore,
Yeah.
right?
We're just keeping
Okay.
it really classic, and it's more almost ornament based these days, where we used to do picks and these bundles that just were kind of loud and funky and fun. We're going more classic. We're investing in the ornaments. We're investing in quality ornaments. And so I like to start with a bigger ornament, kind of more medium size,
Yeah. What's that diameter? Like, what are we, like a 5 or 6 inch diameter?
like a 5. It's
like
good.
for a 12
And
foot?
then you want to start that at the base because the base is so much wider.
Yeah.
And then you start in the middle on a 3-inch.
Oh, so we're like ombreing with scale.
So you almost ombre the scale. And I
Oh
like
my
to do that with
gosh.
like a base color.
Okay.
So like if silver's your color, or gold's your color, or white's your color, browns, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Or reds, I like to start that base because, and then you want to put it in deep because you want to use the depth of the tree. You don't want to just hang everything on the ends of the tree because you want the tree to show the depth of it. And that is what makes it so beautiful. And when you just hang everything on the ends, it doesn't look,
Looks a little sparse.
Unless you have a,
Yeah.
a bushy tree, then.
unless you have
That's
the
when
bushy
you're
tree and
doing
you have
that.
no hope, you
Yeah.
can't do anything.
You have one option.
and you still bury it deep.
That's the
and you
surface
can't
of the
see
tree.
it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
So we do that. And so what I like to do is start with a base color and kind of have that in a variety of sizes.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll do 2, like a good silver or gold, like some great neutral to balance the tree, and then a color pop. And then we like to build out from there. So those are typically what you don't spend a fortune on because they're just buried a little deeper.
Got it.
And then,
And you're wearing long sleeve shirts and you're wearing gloves. No.
no, I just get scratched.
Battle
and deal
wounds.
with it.
This isn't a wife beater,
Yeah.
man.
It's
This
1
is a
month a
hot
year.
job.
Like,
You're so-
it is
Sweaty
so hot.
job.
We're in t-shirts and yoga pants. We're throwing up with messy buns. Like, we're not cute, but we're getting the
Great.
job done. So we go
Elves,
in there.
Christmas elves.
No, seriously. So we get in there and we start hanging all the ornaments. And then you want all your elegant, gorgeous ones, your classic, timeless pieces that you want everyone to see and you want to see. We start getting those on the ends. And of course, you want some finials to change up the look. You don't want it just to be all baubles. So we just love a good variety of ornaments.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
What would be the variety of ornaments that you want? And then let's also talk about the number of ornaments to buy.
Okay, so rule of thumb, 12-foot tree, you want 1 per foot. So that's our little trick. Every time we shop for somebody, we just get 12 ornaments. If they're a 10-foot tree, we get 10 ornaments. If you are
10 of the same variety, people. So when you go to buy an ornament, you're not going to buy 4. You're going to buy a dozen, or you're going to buy 10.
At least.
Or
right?
if you have the
At
8-foot
least.
tree, you're going to
That's
get
like
8.
minimum. Are we talking
I've never
minimums?
heard a rule before, so I love so much
too.
that this is such an easy one to remember. And this
Awesome.
alone is worth listening to the podcast today. Yeah.
Exactly. And everybody always questions that. And it's so sad when you're decorating a tree and you can't balance a tree because you don't have enough.
Yeah.
So I like to get a little extra.
Yeah,
I'm
know.
always maybe 3 more.
Yeah.
I just,
Plus one's going to break, you know?
Totally.
you know it. It's
Yeah.
going to happen. Something's
The
going to
hot glue
happen.
didn't hold in. enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids smacked it. Something's going to happen. And you're going to be so sad that you don't
And
have
you
enough of that
You
ornament.
won't be sad if you have a few
I
extra.
bet you hate it when someone like gifts you one ornament, just
Right?
one. Yes, like a memorial, like of the White House or something.
It's so
What
sad.
do you do with that? Anyway, okay, at least 12, minimum of 12.
Okay.
Minimum
Fantastic.
12. I like to add a little
Buy
more.
a few
It's up
extras
to
so you can break one and not feel bad about it.
And how many ornaments? Like, are we like 6 ornaments? So then you're 6 dozen. Like, how many ornaments are we putting on a tree?
I do like a variety. And if
Okay.
you can't spend all the money this year, I always say start with a great base. So
Fantastic.
start with those base colors, add a great complementary color, and then start to invest in those beautiful ornaments that go to the end. So I like to do about 6 to 8 variety.
Yeah.
If budget is tight, then I say to start with ribbon, like add some ribbon bundles, like add in some gorgeous ribbon. I love the new trend of bows.
Right.
They're like my new obsession.
Such a
And just
lady.
getting those silk bows or the velvet bows. I'm just obsessed with them. And so those really fill up the tree really well.
Yeah.
And they don't break.
Also, can we talk about this? We have a designer that works for us that worked at the White House and did florals and is a beautiful bow maker, and she's very particular about how to tie the bow and loves to do bows for trees. And I feel like there's an art to it and there's a method to it. So those of you that want to take on bows, can you tell them what you do to be able to do the bow?
Gosh.
The secrets of the kingdom are about to come out.
Yes.
So I am lucky to work with Rachel Purcell every year, and we come up with her Christmas color schemes. And one year we were trying to film how we did bows, and it was the hardest thing I've ever tried to film because it's just such a natural thing for
Yeah.
me. And I feel like you just kind of get in a groove, and there's no real secret. It's practice.
Is there a name it's called? It's not like the rabbit ears.
I don't even know.
You
I just
know,
do
like-
it.
Yeah.
It's the
Okay.
it's the traditional just 2 looped bow.
2-loop bow.
And
And
then
then-
you're wiring it.
We actually do. We wire through the knot. Because then it's easier to put it on the tree exactly where you want it, and you don't have to ever redo the bow.
Yeah.
You can just take them off and store them.
Nice. How big of a bow are you doing? Like
I love a 1-inch.
a 1-inch ribbon, and then how big of a are the ears? Would you say?
I like it to hang. I like it to drape a little bit. So what we do to start is we'll mess around with it. I'm a
Yeah.
visual person. I have to see it visually. I can't
Yeah.
just say, oh, this is what I do. I put it on the tree. I make up a bow. I see how long I want the tails, how long I want to loop. Every ribbon is different.
Yeah.
Every ribbon's going to hang different. Some will hang more beautiful and drape pretty, and some don't. And so we'll just kind of play with it and see what we like. Sometimes we'll make up like 2 or 3 and put them on the tree in that triangle pattern so that it's off. We'll put it up on the tree and we'll just kind of look before we do all the cutting.
Yeah.
And then once we feel good about it, we'll cut 1 per foot. Sometimes we don't use that many, but we like to have enough just in case.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you might need to add a little more. It all depends on the tree and how big it is and how much of a statement you want it to make.
Yeah. So a 1-inch ribbon, are you a grosgrain, a satin, a wire edge?
All of it, except
of
for
it.
wire.
Yeah, I agree.
I
It
don't
doesn't
think
drape.
it doesn't
Yeah.
drape well.
Yeah.
Very like artificial ribbon.
Not
Yeah.
Dr. Seussical, like, yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
And some people have those fabric ribbons that are really pretty that just make their statement. It brings in their room. And so we like to create ribbon bundles that we put in the depth of the tree and kind of pull them out. And some of our clients aren't bow people. And so we do those beautiful ribbon bundles.
Who's a bow person?
Rachel Purcell
Okay.
is a bow person. I can get her to do bows and she loves it. She's always ready to embrace a trend. And typically when I come in, she's like, okay, I have this idea of what I want to do. And I'm like, I love this idea. I never would have thought of that. So let's go for it.
Yeah. That's probably fun to have someone that like you can bounce ideas off of a
So
client versus, I mean, it's also nice to be like, you do your thing. Go little elf.
So things trend with Christmas. You wouldn't think so because Christmas is this ever after vision in our mind. It's a Nancy Meyers movie. It's, it's a certain snapshot. But funny enough, like all things, Christmas even trends. So we're seeing bows obviously being a thing. What else would you say is trending?
What's interesting is we started seeing a little hint of this last year that where brass and gold has been such a hot thing for such a while, for like a few years now. Silver's coming back.
Yeah.
I've seen a good hint of silver last year, and I think it's going to be a big thing this year. I think we're really embracing the silver. Traditional is back. Red, bright Christmas red kind of is going out for a second. We're seeing those wine reds, those burgundy reds, those rich velvet, gorgeous. I've heard a couple people refer to it as the Dickens era. We're getting that classic, timeless traditional with those deep colors, beautiful ornaments that are just timeless and a great investment piece. Then on the other scale, I love a fun trend. Like to me, doing the same tree over and over and again is kind of boring. So when clients are ready to embrace a fun color scheme, I am all for it. The Barbie movie was hot this year.
To say,
you
Barbie
guys know.
a thing?
Barbie is a
Christmas.
thing.
Yeah.
Pinks are a thing. We're going to see lots of pinks this year, from anywhere from a pastel pink to a magenta pink. And we kind of started seeing a hint of magenta last year. And from predictions, it's saying it's going to be a big thing, and I am all for it.
I'm excited.
Either doing a whole pink tree or more jewel tones.
Yeah.
And adding those fun magenta colors, those other fun color pops in.
Yeah. I do have to say, like, I feel editorially, like, there's always images that come through and it'll just be like an all orange tree. And like, and I love a tonal room. So like, I'm so all about like the single
We're doing
statement. It's
yes,
my favorite.
we're doing that for here. We're
so
doing
good.
a tree with yellow ribbons in it.
Oh, I love
I'm
it.
so excited. And there's another trend that I keep seeing a lot in
Canary
jewelry.
birds.
So we're doing it, and it's hearts. Have you been seeing hearts everywhere?
Everywhere.
Yeah, so we did get some like mercury glass, blown glass
Love it.
hearts for the tree. I think it's going to be a really rich interpretation of it that will feel like jewelry and not like a little kid's room or like Valentine's Day, but just kind of romantic and, they're heavy and they're mercury and they're smoky. And I think it's going to be really pretty, but I'm curious to know like other trends. I don't know what else you guys are seeing. I agree with the ribbon. We're not going to do the bows. We're going to do, just stream it on down the tree and kind of waterfall it that way. And then we are doing silver in a big way.
I'm
excited.
like the mercury. I'm sure we're doing other kinds of silvers, but I like the mercury as
I
your
do
silver
too,
just because that
always.
feels timeless. And like if you're not wanting
It's
to
kind of
invest-
modeled. It's not too on the nose.
Exactly.
It's not
warmer.
bright silver. Yeah.
it's the Gilver.
Yeah.
And it mixes with all metals.
Totally.
It's just the perfect silver.
I loved, you were saying earlier before we started recording that a really good classic thing to investment, if you can't build out a whole tree in 1 year, would be to invest in your metallics, maybe, right? Silvers and golds, because maybe you don't know which color you're going to be able to invest in. And we need to buy, I think you said 8 to 9 different types of ornaments and maybe a dozen of each. Right. So if you're like, I'm going to break in and do like 3 or 4 this year, your metallics are a really safe place to start.
100%.
What else is a safe place besides the metallics?
The last few years, whites have been a really hot color for us. And a lot of it is with interiors. We're having it in our homes, so people are bringing whites into their trees.
Yeah.
I specifically love a matte white. I don't love the shiny whites, although I mix them. So I invested in white. I have white ornaments. I've popped
And
them
are
in
you
lots of
going
color
on
schemes.
a green tree? Is this for yourself or for others?
I've actually done it on both with clients and with me in flocked and green. Of course, it pops more in the green, so you have to worry about the placement because white is a bold statement in a green tree.
Okay, good.
But in a flocked tree, it's more forgiving.
Yeah.
It hides a little more. So I love it. And then we're seeing warm tones come back. They're hot. They're hot in interior design. They're hot in fashion.
Absolutely.
So I'm seeing browns, brown velvets, all different tones of like warm tones. Even some amber tones.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a really big trend.
Ambers, so beautiful.
I love.
So pretty. Okay, so okay,
Should we keep? There's a couple more things.
Oh, yeah,
really
go ahead.
fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite toppers and ways to skirt
yes.
your tree. I feel like this is one of the things, like the old skirts of yesteryear are gone. We did the baskets. Are we still doing baskets? Are we putting furs around there? What do you do?
I always think a fur is a good investment. I just think it's so beautiful. Utah has these beautiful snowy winters, and it's just that luxurious feeling that's just, you want to just snuggle up in those fur blankets.
Yeah.
So I love a good fur. For a while, Restoration Hardware had these stunning big fur skirts, and they're perfect for the scale of a 12-foot tree. Haven't seen them last year, so I hope they come back, but I don't know. Blossom Hill does have a lot of good tree skirts for that size. I'm all for getting a good fabric and bundling it up underneath. Like sometimes you just can't find the fabric that you want. I have a few clients that we love a velvet skirt. It just works really well with the home and the color scheme. And we had the hardest time finding a velvet skirt. So we just use fabric and we just bundle it up underneath, and it's gorgeous and stunning.
Okay, tree toppers. Are you a star, an angel? Are people like
No tree
opinionated
topper?
about this?
So opinionated.
Are you sprigs? I don't know. Probably not sprigs.
Well,
I don't know.
so I thought I was pulling away from sprigs.
Yeah.
Because I kind of have seen the trend drifting a little bit. And then, so I've been doing a lot of stars.
Okay.
And I love a good star, and I love Blossom Hill again.
Okay.
They've-
I was about
they
to say,
have
where do
some
we get a
good
good star?
stars. Pottery
Okay.
Barn has some great stars
Okay.
too.
Good to
They're
know.
really hard to find.
Are.
They're like
A lot of them look
and
so
good
cheap.
ones.
Yeah.
And one of the things to keep in mind is like Anthropology has great stars, but they cater towards a 7-foot tree, maybe a 9-foot.
Oh,
So the
interesting.
scale is off
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah. That's
So I
fair.
love a good start. We are still doing sprigs though.
Yeah.
Rachel came up with this idea, Rachel Parcell came up with this idea to just do all ornaments and then bury sprigs in her tree on her topper. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And we did it and we played around, and it is one of my favorite things I've ever done. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. So she is doing sprigs still in her trees. And we did like a gorgeous metallic one in her more luxurious tree in her
Living room.
living room that
Yeah.
you guys just finished.
Beautiful.
Okay.
So fun.
Just really fast, and then we'll get to the garlands and all the other things. I feel like Christmas, we all know is emotional. We all have just like these ornaments that we've, as we go through and pull out all of our Christmas, it's probably just like a smattering. It's a smorgasbord of like lots of weird stuff, but some of it's emotional. Like it's our mother's ornaments, or it's like our kids that like all their pictures as they've grown up. Is that going in like the traditional one, like the 8-foot or 9-foot that you're putting off the kitchen, or like in a more like in the basement, like family room? Like where are we putting those things? Because people have it.
I agree. And I think they're really important. And it means so much to the kids growing up that those ornaments are on the tree every year. So if they are going in the traditional trees because they're just an eclectic collection. We'll put it that way. And so what we do is we'll go into our clients' homes and we'll get the base of that tree done up with some beautiful ornaments. We'll do typically like a good red and green and gold. Get the ribbon in there, get the sprigs in there, whatever we need to do to make it a really pretty tree. And then we walk away, and our clients have their family traditions where they put all their ornaments on the tree and have that little time with their children so that their kids can have the memory of decorating the tree and do it. And I love it. I love that people do it. I love coming back and seeing clients' homes and having all the cute little kids' ornaments there. And it's just so sweet.
Because I bet as a kid, I bet you had such a heyday decorating your tree growing up.
My mom is
why do
like,
we want to take that away from our kids? Like those, like that tree,
I know.
that specific one, right?
My mom is the queen of Christmas. She,
Oh,
I was raised
makes
with
sense.
the queen of holidays. She is amazing. And she decorated a lot of trees. We had like 11 trees growing up
In your own house?
in our own house. And they were all
Stop.
themed.
Did she do it for
Wow.
other people?
No, she just did it. She's an
you.
interior designer. And so
Yes.
she just,
Look at you. She's got to be
loves
so
doing it.
proud
Loving
of what her
trees.
legacy
You're
has.
so exhausted.
Are you
Yeah.
having
Right.
like trees in bedrooms?
oh,
or-
100%.
Okay.
Trees in
Yeah.
bedrooms. Each of us had a
Bathrooms?
theme. No
I'm
bathrooms.
kidding. I was just joking.
We had like 3 in one room. So there was always one tree that the kids
Yeah.
got to put ornaments on.
Yeah.
The rest of them were my mother's.
Don't
we
touch
did not
it.
touch.
Wow.
Do not touch
That's
it.
awesome.
It was cute, but
Yeah.
she's always made holidays amazing.
Today, how many
love
trees
it.
does she do?
Well, 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has this gorgeous German glass tree. That's tradition. We put it up every year. She's collected all these
Oh,
beautiful
fantastic.
glass ornaments from Germany.
How soon does she get started?
She doesn't start until December.
Okay.
Wow.
When we were younger, she would have it all up in November because she would host a lot of
Mm-hmm.
parties. And so she'd get it early November. But now that
Yeah.
we're older, kids are gone.
Yeah.
She just does.
Does it for the season.
Is that on your bucket list, or maybe you've already gone like the German Christmas market? Like
100% my bucket
my
list.
bucket list, like
My dream
for
trip.
sure.
Going there someday.
Pinterest like hears me every year, and then they're throwing me the pictures of it, and it's like so magical. It's a storybook. It's so beautiful.
If I could do a month in Europe during the Christmas season, like Paris, London, all those places in Germany, I would die. I just so
Sorry,
much
client.
inspiration.
Yeah.
I know.
Peace out.
I'm leaving.
I'm going to
Yeah,
Germany.
your bucket would be overflowing. Yeah,
know, I'd
you'll have
love
to
it.
do it one of these years. Say, I'm
Okay.
not doing holiday this year, so
Okay.
plan on doing your own.
I
I'm
know.
going to Europe.
See you
That's
later.
the plan.
Yes,
I know.
that's
Should we
amazing.
go to garlands?
Yes.
Let's talk about mantles and garlands. I feel like that's another formula that I think people are like, how many do I use? How many garlands? How long are the garlands for like your average?
Do I use
mantle?
command hooks? Do we put
Yeah.
stockings on there? What are all your best practices for mantles?
Okay. Mantles are probably my favorite thing.
Okay.
They have come, they're just like art statements now in everybody's room. Like, I love that the tree is more simplified and the mantle is just going over the top now. It's just so fun to work with.
Ridiculous.
However, the more elegant or the bigger the statement is, the heavier they are and the harder they are to get to stay up there. If I can use nails, that's a dream. Nails can support it. We can tuck some little nails back in the back of the mantle and wire everything to it. Command hooks are I have a love-hate relationship with command hooks. I get those 11:30 text messages from clients showing me a picture of a mantle that's fallen down and I'm just crushed. But it happens.
Suzanne uses a nail also.
Yeah, nails the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, nails or like the screw and cup hooks. Do you ever like use
Oh, yeah.
those on a wood mantle? I love those.
Love those, but who
They're
has
cute.
wood mantles these days? It's so hard.
1970s. Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
that's the thing. It's the dream.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I have
Take
wood
note,
too.
everyone.
No,
Okay, so no to
I
command hooks, yes to
Command
nails.
hooks.
Any other tools of the trade that people?
wire and command hooks. I've learned to over command hook. Like, and one of the biggest tricks that people don't know is command hooks because of the sticky
Yeah.
sticker on the back. You have to have your mantle like completely clean.
Uh-huh.
So one of our biggest things is first thing we do when we come into the house is we undecorate whatever decor they have on their mantle. We wipe it down with just water because we don't want any dish soap or anything.
residue.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
just concerned about that. So we just wipe it down with a wet cloth, clean it all up, get those once it's dry, we get the command hooks up and we let them hang out there for a little bit. And I tell the clients they're not allowed to turn on their fireplace for 24 hours
Oh,
because we
pro
need those
tip.
command hooks to just kind of settle.
Yeah.
And
I love
then
the
we
curing.
build it.
Nobody ever like
Right?
even myself. I'm like,
Command
surely they
curing,
don't need
that's funny.
24 hours to cure.
Yeah.
Silly.
Okay,
No,
can
but
I ask
here
you
us.
the
Yeah.
placement of the command hook? Are you sticking them on the surface of the mantle? Like, do you know what I mean? Horizontal? Or
Like
are
on the
you
shelf?
on the mantle? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Itself? Or are you sticking them to the wall?
It's
Like,
probably
where's the hook at?
It depends on the style.
it's probably like that, right?
Right.
that we can like then wire. I'm drawing.
So,
Okay.
or
Right.
if you have it front facing
Mm-hmm.
and you're draping down this way, you
Yeah.
have to put it right there on the edge.
Oh, sure.
And then that's when you want like 3.
What color command hook are we buying? Does it depend on what the mantle is?
I've
Or
tried
are you
to
always just
find-
going with the one that looks like metal, or a dark one that blends in with the green, or is it white because the mantle's marble? Or
It depends on what's the most heaviest weight. We try to go
okay,
the heaviest weight. We try to get a hook. But sometimes I use a variety. Like, you never know what's going to stay.
I'm sure your bag is full of command hooks,
Tool hook. Your tool-
wipes, nails, Advil, all the things.
Hot glue,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Mostly wire. So
Uh-huh.
much wire. We use so much. But with
Good
mantles,
clippers, wire clippers.
wire clippers are
Buy wire
fantastic
clippers.
to
Don't-
have.
Don't think you just can do scissors. You need the clips.
Oh, you need the clips, 100%. The other thing that people don't realize is that we always have a cheap base garland first that we
Mm.
connect.
Pro
You know
tip.
those wired
So
garlands
not
that
the
are
Yeah.
just
Blossom Hill one. Which
No.
where are we getting that?
so you just Amazon
Yeah.
Okay.
spend like $8. Don't get them pre-lit
Mm.
because sometimes if they're too long, we just chop them because we don't want them to be seen.
Yeah.
Like you're hiding it. But then you can use that to wire on all your garland.
Yeah.
and you just use that as your base. It's fantastic. It's the best little
it.
trick.
It's just a petticoat of a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, just an
Nobody sees it.
underlayer.
No, it's the
Yeah, it's
slip.
nobody's business what's happening under there.
Exactly. No one
Great.
knows.
So we go Amazon. So we go command hooks, let it cure, work on
Yep.
the tree, come back to the mantle, base layer of the cheap garland, and then what's the good stuff?
Oh, the good stuff. There are so many good things these days in greens. And I think the cedar garland is my favorite.
I love a cedar garland.
Me too. And I love
Where
how
do
it
you like to buy
drapes.
it from?
So I buy it from some local resources here because I do love to give support to local businesses.
Yeah.
And then A Floral has some good ones. Terrain has good ones. They just sell out
Okay.
crazy fast.
Yeah.
So if you get it early, and here's the little trick, you got to start shopping for Christmas in like mid-October.
Good to know.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
but things sell
I
out
thought you
so
were gonna
fast.
say like July. Okay,
How do you
that's
feel about like the fresh garland from Costco?
I love a fresh garland.
I do
Like, to me,
too.
that's
Smells
sentimental.
amazing.
Oh, the smell.
Yeah.
So, but we're in Utah
Yeah,
and we're dry,
we are.
so it's really tough. And
Just
they
a
fall
fire
apart.
hazard.
I-
Just pair it with
It's a
a
nightmare.
pair it with a mantle.
Light to match.
Light that
Oh
thing
my
up.
gosh.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's
Fried pussycat.
I've done it after
Yeah.
requests from clients. I have done it, and I get a call like a week later, and it's dead,
crispy.
and it's crispy, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And I'm like, "I guess we can redo it." And so, like, you
So
pretty
you
much have
if
to
they're
redo
hiring
it.
you, you're like, we're not doing the live one because I don't have time to redo it because I have to do 16 of these.
But outside,
Yeah.
let's do it. I
Yeah.
say go live outside. It is 100% worth it.
Yeah.
It lasts in the Utah weather. And I think it's so stunning. There's nothing that
It is so
beats a
pretty.
live garland or a live wreath or
Yeah.
just fresh greens in your pots. Like when you have those flower pots outside, keep the dirt in and just go grab lots of greens and stems and berries and just add it to the pots, put some lights on it, and it's stunning.
Yeah. Love that. Okay, sorry. So back to the tree. Back to the garland. We're going to do mantles and we're also going to do railings with it. And your favorite is the cedar. And then where do you go from there? What do you layer
So-
on top of that?
It depends on the clients, what they kind of envision for their home. Some just really like those simple cedar garlands these days. But like I said, mantles are becoming a big statement. They're becoming like over the top done. So then you start building with picks. And there's so many gorgeous green picks. I do love to use a pine. And I love to use some of the junipers and more natural tones. So we'll kind of build from there. And we just kind of layer on, using that base garland the entire time to hide our stems, to hide the garlands, to hold it all together. That is really key. That's the trick to everything, is when you build on that, to use that base garland to just hide everything. And and then the biggest thing is after we finish building the garland and decorating it, we get on the ladder, because you always have to look behind and see where all your stems are sticking out and go tuck them into the garland, because the person upstairs, when you can see over them, you can see all those little.
Consider it.
Unless you're a one-story room, then
You're a
then you're all
rambler,
done.
good for
Then
you.
you're done.
Yep.
Then
No
walk
one can
away.
See under the skirt. That's
Exactly.
fantastic.
Yeah, that is
Are
fantastic.
you doing like ornaments on said garland?
Just
Or
picks
or
and-
just like a full robust green one with lights?
Mostly robust green with lights.
Okay.
Last year, we did hang some really cute ornaments from a garland, and I loved how it turned out.
Okay.
It was not my favorite project because balancing both sides was so not fun. And I was by myself.
Oh,
So I just had to run back and like check it out and then run back and like
So
tweak it a little bit. So that was fun. But I loved how it turned out, and I'll do it
Yeah.
again. So I do love ornaments hanging. We hung some stars from a garland ribbon. We always do a good ribbon.
Yeah.
Sometimes we like to make an awesome statement. So like Rachel Parcells last year, we did a gorgeous green garland that draped down to the floor. And then we did berries coming off of it.
Pretty.
So it kind of phased out of the green, and it was a fun one.
stunning.
nice.
Stockings.
Stockings.
Are we putting them on the mantle? Do you hate them? Chris Kringle will find them under the stairs. I don't know.
I love them.
Yeah.
It depends on the style of the mantle. If we're just going with a classic traditional, I think
Yeah.
stockings are beautiful and they're worth getting.
Yeah.
Especially I love a really gorgeous stocking velvet fur, just a classic.
Balsam Hill
knitted
again.
one.
Is that your favorite?
You know, Pottery Barn, Anthropology, Balsam. There's quite a few good ones.
Okay.
You can kind of find them online, but it depends on the year. Every year it's different. So I love that. we will hang them, but we use, again, that little wired garland to actually hang them, or we'll use command hooks.
Yeah.
But sometimes we'll run out of command hooks, and so we use that
As you
garland.
do. Yeah.
And then we tell the clients, just don't fill it,
Yeah.
like take it off to fill it for your kids. So that's what they do.
Great.
I will fill it.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's great.
Okay.
Any other questions for you?
Oh, okay.
Can we talk about storage?
Yeah.
Or you have here how to navigate a bad idea from a client. Have you ever had an idea where you have to just casually start to recommend other ideas, or do you just go with it because it's personal?
Stories too before you got like
give
really
us
Yeah, those are
Oh,
my
I know.
questions. I'm always like, give me the juicy stuff that no one ever
I
gets to
have
hear.
one. I remember I don't do what you do, but I have done it for a client, and I remember I pulled out, and like she lived out in the country, and we pulled out the flock tree, and what did we find? Like stuck in the flock was a dead mouse.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
that was really terrifying.
That hasn't happened to you, Rachel Folkman.
No,
No, that hasn't.
Sorry, when you put horror story, I'm like the dead mouse for sure. That was so disgusting.
Let's
man.
see.
Anyway.
Horror stories.
Yours would be better. Go.
I think my horror stories are just the mantle fallings.
Okay.
But one year, it was so funny because we book ourselves way too tight and don't give ourselves any room for things not going well.
Life.
Nobody can get COVID. Not with that schedule. Nobody can get sick.
Nope, we
Yeah.
just masked.
Yeah. Oh
So
my
we went
gosh.
in, and our clients pulled out their tree, and it was covered in like, we think a builder knocked over a can of Mountain Dew on top of it, and it was neon yellow, like a flock tree, neon yellow, 12-foot tree. We were there. We were under a time crunch.
Peed on. Oh.
We're just like, what happened?
Don't eat yellow snow. Remember that. So what did you do?
We had her husband run to the store and get flocking, and we
Yeah.
sat there with like towels underneath and flocked all the branches. And of course, you had to give it time
Flocked the
to
hell out of that thing, huh?
had to give it time to dry.
Oh my gosh.
And we were just trying to do everything else but decorate the tree, but get the tree done. And it was crazy. And then I've had other clients who, I get it, trees are an investment. They're expensive. But remember that big pine tree that had the overflocking? It was the long needle pine.
Yeah.
That flocking did not last. It fell off. It was just a disaster. We would be covered from head to toe in flocking.
Yeah.
It starts to make the branches not look as good. Like, I just struggled with it, and I would beg them to please replace the tree, and they were just like, no, it still looks good. And so we're like, okay. So we'd work with that, and we make it look good in the end. But
Yeah.
I feel like you just need to embrace the fact that trees aren't going to last forever, specifically a flocked. So you need to replace it every 5 years.
Do you ever do a live tree?
I have. That's actually one of my terror stories. We were doing a live tree, and Chelsea Cash, who I do Christmas with, I was talking about how fun it was and how amazing it smelled, and I was so excited to be working on it. And she goes, oh yeah, just watch for spiders. And I said, what? She goes, yeah, there's spiders all over the tree that you typically see them. So that was the last live tree I worked on.
You must have seen a lot of spiders.
We saw a couple.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't do live trees.
Little Christmas spiders. That's not. Oh yeah.
I'll just go. I'm not a spider guy, so I'll just go fake.
Yeah.
Vote for Corey.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
great. Okay, Corey, any other questions you want to ask her? Or else I can ask her the question we ask everybody that comes on the podcast.
That was it for me. But I'm glad
Any
you
other
like
from
shared
you?
a couple. That's awesome.
I know, like any storage tips. Like we're
Oh,
ready
yes.
to put it down. Take Christmas down. That sad day. That sad and glorious day. You're taking Christmas down. How do you best store stuff?
I really love a good bin, plastic bin with a lid that's clear so that you can see your product. I do like separating my themes just because we change our themes a lot. I like to keep all the red ornaments in one, silver in another, all your greens in one. And that way you don't have to pull out all your Christmas storage every year.
Yeah.
They have those ornament divider storages now
Yeah.
that are fantastic, especially for your really high-end, beautiful ornaments that you just want to keep safe. Those really do protect them year after year. It's very rare we get any breakage, so I really recommend those.
Okay.
That's great. And are these, so they're plastic with the plastic, like Rubbermaid,
Mm-hmm.
or the dividers, aren't those like cardboard boxes? Or are those also like some sort of rigid
I
plastic?
have a couple clients who have them in like a fabric, and I should
Oh.
ask where they're getting them.
Fascinating. Yeah.
I think they're storage organizers.
Like I bet
come in.
Container Store has I bet they have
Or
their Christmas dialed
They can
in.
search that. So you're looking for a fabric covered box with fabric dividers.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Great. Love it. Oof, that's the
That's it.
dream. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
Merry
the dream to
Christmas.
have all those totes match. I feel like every one of mine is a different color from
always
acquiring
had,
more
like,
and more
banker
Christmas over the years.
boxes
Yeah,
and-
totally. Oh my gosh, so great. What
Oh,
about
okay.
storing garlands? Is there a trick to that? I think
Black
I feel like
garbage
I maybe have a nail in my unfinished basement area under the garage where it just hangs on a nail.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Well, I don't know that it is. What do you
That's the
see
dream.
from
Oh,
That's what
do
she
you
hopes.
unfinished area of your house where you can stock all your Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I undo my garlands every year so that I can keep them separated again
Yeah.
with the different picks.
Yeah.
So I keep them in just a plastic storage container with lid. I have had clients who have saran wrapped, like they just clip the wire from
Yeah.
where we hang it,
Yeah.
and they saran wrap the whole mantle.
Like
and they just-
decorated?
And they lay it on a top shelf or in their basement somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And then just pull it out
Yeah.
every year. We
Great.
just fluff it.
Uh-huh.
So that's another
Okay.
way you can do it. but
cheers.
Yeah.
hanging it on a nail would be nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I think my husband just he just Jimmy
nail
rigged
there.
it. Yeah.
I love
Whatever.
doing that with wreaths too.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
totally.
Just putting them on the
Smart.
wall and just keeps them nice.
Favorite wreaths.
That's a great question.
Favorite wreath.
I feel like the doors today are so large on some homes that a standard wreath looks like a belly button on some of these doors. It's too tiny. So you need a really decent size circumference on a wreath. Do you have a favorite resource that people can shop from?
Honestly, the things that were our best resource last year was Balsam Hill. They were the only ones who
Not
had
sponsored.
the big, not
Yeah.
sponsored at all. They don't give commissions on
It'd be
anything.
nice.
Yeah.
Right?
But-
Come on, Balsam.
Hashtag
No,
Balsam.
but they
Okay.
they had the bigger wreaths, and so they were easier to find. I looked high and low because it just looks so, it's off. I did find a local nursery that had some of the bigger fresh pine wreaths.
Lovely.
And so we were adding that to clients around because all the fresh stuff comes in around Thanksgiving. So we were adding those to doors. And I love
Nice.
that.
Speaking of wreaths, specifically Rachel's Christmas, she
Mhm.
puts the wreaths on all the windows, which is such like a lovely traditional Christmas look. Do you do that too, or is that like
We do it.
leave it to the client?
Sometimes I run out of time. And
Yeah.
so I'll come back in an afternoon and Rach and I will kind of work through some other ideas. And sometimes we don't. We kind of brainstorm as we're going on the install. And so, ideas pop up and you're just like, oh, what if we did this and we did this? And so we'll go shopping and get some things. Then I'll come back and finish it up. Rachel has the cutest style and she loves a good wreath on a window. And so she shops and I'll show up and she'll have these gorgeous wreaths. And I'm like, where'd you find those? She's found them in some random place. And then
Awesome.
we'll put them up. We'll put
Sweet.
bows on.
Yeah.
I love it. I love a wreath on a window. I love a wreath on a mirror too. I think that is so pretty.
Are we
So
command
pretty.
hooking all these to the windows, to the doors? How are you attaching your wreath to the door?
Small command hooks.
Small command
Typically the ones with the little metal hook on it. We'll do that on hoods too.
Okay. Cute.
Sometimes
Yeah.
we'll use 2 of those, but we
By
try to keep-
hoods, she means range hoods over your oven.
Could be
Yeah,
car
so
hood, too.
cute.
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, we've all
Christmas
seen it,
vacation.
right?
Right? Yeah.
I love it.
To each their own.
This is so fun.
know.
Okay, so whenever we have a guest on the podcast, we always ask them, how do you define luxury? And we get a gamut of different answers, and it's been such a fun conversation. So we're curious, Rachel Folkman, you've seen a lot. You decorate for the best. How do you define luxury?
I think luxury is just timeless pieces that are worth the investment. So for me, I love art. My mom's an artist, and so art speaks to me, and different art speaks to everyone. So I love like really gorgeous artwork. I love some timeless accessories that you can take out year after year. I love using that, incorporating that into clients' homes, especially during the holidays, and finding those pieces. I'm a sucker for mohair. I just ordered brown mohair pillows for myself because I love a good mohair, and I am going to put that with my Christmas, and my Christmas is going brown this year because of these pillows. Like
Amazing.
mohair to me is like something I fell in love with at design school, and so I just love that luxurious throw. It's like anything that you can add that's just a touch of luxe is just my favorite thing to add a little bit of luxury to your home.
So great. Perfect answer. Thank you so much for coming on, dear Alice, Rachel Folkman. You guys, I hope this has been helpful for you. It's been so helpful for me. I'm going to
too.
think about buying ornaments differently
Go look. I'm gonna go inventory.
than I ever had before.
Inventory your Christmas.
Ooh.
thing
Yes.
now.
Definitely. We still have time. Yes.
I know, October, here we come.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. If you have any questions for us, remember you can always send them to dearalice@alicelanehome.com. We will catch you next time. Hey, thanks for listening. If you like our show, please leave a 5-star rating.